still that level of hate and anger out here?
I grew up in Atlanta. That's 15 minutes outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not surprised by anything. Am I surprised that a brown police officer can sit on a black man's head and attempt to knock his teeth out? You know, am I surprised that ethnically police officers that are Puerto Rican or Dominican that technically would be described as Negro 100 years ago are siding with the system and beating kids on the corner in Brooklyn and the Bronx? You know, those are the questions you really need to start to ask yourself. What kind of system will make people like me and you treat each other like that and think that that's permissible? Am I shocked three dumb crackers decided to try to get away with murder? No, that's what dumb, poor white people do because they're taught they're superior and they don't understand they have the same masters. They dumb as the horses they rode in on. What I am surprised by is those people that grow up in cities and that consider themselves nuanced and sophisticated to being essentially the KKK, but the same color as me.
You know, for me, this is the way that I look at it. I don't look at things in, you know, I'm forced to look at things in black and white because of the way that things are in the world. But I look at this from a different point of view. I have a problem in terms of the police in the fact that I pay your salary for you to brutalize me. That doesn't work for me. I should not pay your salary and have you brutalize me. Now, if I'm not paying your salary, then maybe you're going to whoop my ass all up and down whatever boulevard you want to do it. But to be able to actually pay someone's salary and have them brutalize you is a little idiotic to me.
No, I agree. I
live in New York City. I live in the New York City area. I live in Jersey, but I live in the New York City area.
Yeah.
And I think some of this injustice just doesn't make sense from a couple of different angles. I think Mano, the rapper, said it the best. You've got people you've got cops that are going extremely hard at these people over social distancing, putting themselves at risk, getting that close up on somebody. Why are you going that hard? All you have to do is tell them this, this, and this. And if you get super disrespectful, then you have to go. So that's my stance with it. I just hope that in this time, we can figure out a way to kind of bring a lot of this down, because this is the time in history where more than anything, we need to be together as opposed to being apart. Anyway, I'm going to move on with that. People, just in case you tuned in, we are talking with Killer Mike. I do this every night, 7 p.m. Interviews, celebrity advice, celebrity interviews. I do everything. I do a little bit of everything.
We do it all.
We do it all, man. I was watching an interview that you were taking place, that you took part in. And you said a lot of things that made sense to me. And it made me ask myself, where did we go wrong? I heard you talk about Black Wall Street, North Miami. I talked about you hearing the fact that your great-grandmother was born a slave and she died a landowner.
Her mother was born a slave. Right. Yeah, my great-grandmother was a landowner. Yeah, her mother was.
Right. Yeah. The fact that we as Black people dressed impeccably in the 30s and the 40s, and then we had Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X in the 60s, to now what this has become. What happened, man? What do you think took place? There was greatness, and now we talking about.
Now there is greatness. There's exceptional greatness. If you follow my Instagram, Killer Mike, you guys will see that my first post of the day was a Black man named Freddie Figures, who owns Figures Wireless. For all of you guys who got an iPhone, y'all need a trap phone. Everybody needs two phones. You need a trap phone and your main phone, or your main girl and your side girl phone. So get you a Figures Wireless for one of those phones, because that man has put over $3 million of his own money into making sure hazmat suits, shields, and masks go to teachers, go to public servants and hospitals and people that are servicing our community. Well, how did he become a multi-millionaire? He built Figures Wireless. He builds Figures TVs. We should be buying these products and supporting that, because that's greatness now. That's not something you're looking in your history books and saying, well, didn't used to have anything. We currently have that in Figures. We have other things that we support. We got to support Black business like True Detergent. I like Tide and Gain, but I like True Detergent better. So the only detergent that comes in my house is True Detergent. That's very small things I can do. I don't have to go out on big mass and change the world tomorrow. All I have to do is start to support the things that support me. So if I support True Detergent hires more people that look like me. They nestle right down here in College Park. That allows the people that look like me to buy homes in College Park, and those homes then feed into the charter system that Black people will create. And those kids get educated in a way that is pro-Black, and they're not ashamed of who they are. And I know this works. It's not theory to me because I grew up in the Collier Heights, which was a community that was gentrified by Black people. And went to Collier Heights Elementary, which was an all-Black elementary school, and we were taught that we had to be excellent. Then I went on to Frederick Douglass High School. Frederick Douglass High School, the first thing we were assigned is to read the autobiography of Frederick Douglass and understand that without struggle, there's no progress. So we knew we had to work hard. Next, I went to Morehouse College, and I was accepted into Morris Brown College as well. So my whole life has been a product of Black working and earning better for yourself. Whether it was growing up in a Black community, going to Black schools, elementary and high, and then on to college, whether it was starting my own business and working for other Black business, I celebrate the right now. The past has happened, and it inspires me, but I can't relive it. The future's going to happen, but I'm not going to wait for it to happen. I'm going to be a part of it happening. So what I'm going to do is try to build my part of the legacy. Freddie Figures is building his part of the legacy. We have young people getting into politics and in economics building that legacy. So celebrate the victories we have now. Follow people like AKA Anundrum on here. Follow people like Tesla and Figaro. Follow people like Charlemagne the God, like Fatman Scoop. Follow the good news like you follow the stench of the bad news. The same way when bad news comes across and that stench get in your nose and you run to your other blog sites to see what the filth is of the day, find something to be happy about and to celebrate every single day. So I don't want to talk about what we had because we have what we have, right? And what we got to do is work with what we have. If there are marijuana laws coming into your state and you're Black, if Georgia's 35% Black, then we need 35% of the marijuana business, or we need to be acting a fool. Black should be 15% of every major industry in this country because we make up 15% of the population. So what we need to start doing is much like Dr. John Henrik Clark and Amos Wilson said, is to become producers of something. And we don't produce everything yet. But what we can produce, we can support because that's going to cycle back into our community. Now, that don't save everything. You still need to get people elected. You still need to have public policy that favors you economically. You still need to make sure your money's flowing so as you're doing business, but you also need to start educating yourself. So we need to start making sure that we have our own Saturday school. And then at Saturday school, just like they're going to make sure your children know Spanish and English soon, you need to start learning Swahili. It's as easy as saying Jambo instead of saying hello. Instead of saying hello, I'm going to say Jambo because I know this is how to say hello in Swahili. And then over the next 20 years, that's about 18 years and then 2 years off of play, the time it would take a child to go from kindergarten through high school, you can dramatically transform your community from an educational perspective, from an economic perspective, and from a scholastic perspective. And if that is not what you're trying to do, while in addition to acquiring land, there's a lot of cheap land in the South, you're planning to fail.
100%. You speak the truth. People, again, if you just tuned in, we're talking to Killer Mike every night, 7 p.m. Interviews. Tomorrow is Donnie Wahlberg from the New Kids on the Block. Wednesday, the Central Park 5, Corey Wise and Jerome, who played Corey Wise in the Netflix series. And we'll have more later on in the week. If you can, follow me and you can find out everything I'm doing and everybody that I interview each and every night. Crazy Legs, please get at me. I want you for a Throwback Thursday. Now, let's move on. Joe Biden said, and I know when he said this, you had some comment or some thought. If you support Trump, you are not Black. Fatman Scoop.